Hey kids, it's Papa. You ready to explore the Bible? Well, today is Friday, the 21st of August, and right now we are probably out in Rainier. It's right at the base of a really big and beautiful mountain. Maybe we'll send you some pictures, but in any case, we're going to take a look at Genesis chapter 1, verses 14 through 19. Genesis 1, 14 through 19. Go ahead and turn there. And we are going to take a look at what the Bible says happened on the fourth day of creation. The fourth day. Now, in this, we find that God created some really neat things and some really necessary things for us to actually live. So take a look with me, if you will, in Genesis chapter 1, verse 14. It says, "And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years, and let them be for lights in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth." And it was so. Now, what was he talking about here? Well, remember, we're talking about the heavens. Now, the first heavens that he created were the one when he had the big ball of water, and then he created another thing of water above the heavens, above the firmament, and we'll talk about those later. We think those were ice crystals, and they're probably not clouds, but something way up there, a canopy around the earth. But here, the first heaven is the atmosphere, all of the air. That is atmosphere, and that's what we breathe, and it goes up for a ways above the earth, and that is the first heaven. The birds fly in the first heaven. We fly airplanes in the first heaven and on balloons, and up above that is where the satellites and the space station and all of that is, because this is the heaven he's talking about. First heaven is talking about the atmosphere. The second heaven is talking about where it's basically space, where the sun is and the moon and all of the stars. That's what he created on this day, was where all of that happens. Now, there's a third heaven, and that's where God lives. He lives in the third heaven. Where is that? We don't know. But it's kind of cool to think about, isn't it? And so here in the second heaven, or space, God created lights. And let's see what he has to say here. In verse 16 it says, "And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day," that's the sun, isn't it? "And the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also." Now, what was the lesser light? Well, it was the moon. But he also made the stars. "And God set them in the firmament of heaven." It's talking about space. "And to rule over the day and the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day." Now, there's some things you need to see about here. When did God create plants? Well, he created them on the third day, and then he created the sun on the fourth day. Now, there are some people who say, well, these days were thousands or even millions of years long. Well, then how did those plants live all of that time without the sun to give them light? Well, they didn't, because these were actual 24-hour days, and God says, he called it a day. It was basically a day. And so he created the sun and the moon and the stars. The wonderful thing is that he put the moon up there not just for light, but also so that we would have tides. Tides are a neat thing, and we'll talk about that later. But also, he created the stars. Now, this was a lot of creating, because every time you look up in the night sky and you see a star, that's actually a sun burning in the sky way, way, way out there. And we live in a solar system that has one sun, and going around it we have 8 or 9 or however many planets they've decided to tell us about now. I'm still a little bitter about Pluto. But the solar system goes around our sun. But our solar system is not the only solar system, because all of these other stars, we're finding out now that many of them have planets of their own, and all of these planets are in a big thing that we call a galaxy, and it is so huge that we can't even imagine it. And in this galaxy, they're telling us that there's between 4 and 5 billion stars. And then the amazing thing is that this is not the only galaxy that God created. There's probably, now they're saying there's probably between 4 and 5 billion galaxies out there. And so, when God says that he created the sun, the moon, and the stars on the fourth day, that was an amazing creation. And he did it all by just speaking it into existence. We serve a great God. Well, love you guys, and we'll talk to you soon. See you. Bye-bye.